All right, Shalom Rastafari, Wendim Ras. We're back here with part two reasoning of Esau and Yaakov. The last time we left off, we got cut off a little before we thought we would. We were reading on how the elders have served the younger, and we'll continue reading on verse 24 of chapter 25, where the first child came out ruddy came forth ruddy all over like a hairy mantle, and they called his name Esau. And after that came forth his brother, and his hand held on Esau's heel, and his name was called Yaakov, or Jacob. And Isahak was 80 years old when she bore them. He was 30 years old, and the boys grew, and Esau was a cunning hunter. Now, his cunningness, there's a lot that's hidden there. Him being cunning, and I'm going to reveal and give thanks to Wendim Ras for, the venison. And there's a hidden rhema word in there with I, the lost children over here in diaspora, with the venison in the mouth, the game, play between game, the meat, and the game in his mouth. And I know down here in the black community here in the South, where there's a lot of sayings how some of the lost sheep like to say like talk game, split game. It's basically you're deceiving someone with your mouth. And that's just a little hidden rhema word that's in here with with Esau's love for meat and game, and how he was cunning, and how he was very deceiving to Isaac. And Isaac not having good eyesight, being according what that's revealed here, that he was actually legally blind. But we understand that blindness was on another side, on the spiritual as well, where we see that Isaac was spiritually blind, but Ribka, Isaac loving Esau, Rebecca's love for Yaakov, and the fleshy and the worldly love of Isaac and Esau, him being blind, but the prophecy given to Rebecca of the younger, that the older shall serve the younger. So that's we're gonna get into some scriptures to reveal that, but we want to really get that understood, that Jacob didn't just steal, and Rebecca didn't just deceive deceive Esau. It was written. It was prophetic. The Almighty has said that revealed to her who the chosen one was, and it was Yaakov. And we see by these examples of Isaac that it was not revealed unto him. So, but let's read a little more. And the boys grew, and Esau was a cunning hunter and a man of the field. And Yaakov was a quiet man, dwelling in tents and booths. And, that's that hint there with tabernacles. And what we have, even in the the Torah portion that we just finished by Ishlak, where he dwelt in Sukkot, where Yaakov dwelt in Sukkot, Sukkot being tents, the booths, and the ones know in the Hebrew community, in the Jewish community, we have the Feast of Tabernacles, and that tabernacles is that indwelling them tents of booths, and there's even a hint on Yom Kippur and atonement, you know, what Yaakov does when he returns to the land that Yahweh Haile Selassie promised him of the atonement with Esau, and that Kippur, and that being revealed, the appeasement, that it was a reconciliation, like what we do when we come into Yom Kippur, the Day of Atonement, you know, making that atonement. Because Yaakov truly felt that even though the Almighty had revealed to him that, yes, it was him that it was chosen other than his brother, Yaakov still felt that he did wrong and maybe his mother was wrong. Because you got to think that after the blessing was given to him, his brother tried to kill him. He had to leave. Um, you know, he was gone for 20 years under the slavery, really, of his uncle. And Yaakov's faith was really hurt during that time, you know, because as the Kumash reveals in some of the commentaries, and the spirit is led out to really receive that Yaakov during his times, he still doubted whether he was deserving of the blessing and of the faith, even though the angel had appeared unto him at Bethel when he first went off to Padan Aram, and even through the times that the Almighty was with him during his hard times with Laban. But we come to figure out that no angel appeared unto Yaakov during his time under Laban. So you got to think that when he had to leave his holy land, when he had to leave the land, you know, he had to go through all of this with, you know, he got cheated out of Rachel, out of marrying the chosen woman that he wanted to. He really thought he was being punished, and that the blessing was not deserved of him. So, you know, Yaakov goes through a lot, and we're going to get into that in a little later on, but we see that he was dwelling in tents. But now Issachar, it says here in verse 28, now Issachar loved Esau because he did eat of his venison. He ate of his venison. And it is revealed here, we have here in the Chumash, I had that note highlighted right here, and I'm going to read from here, that literally there was game in his mouth. And, you know, we say in the community how we got some of the lost sheep that talk about how, yeah, they like to talk this game, you know, to get what they want, you know, yeah, I got all this game, you know, but you deceiving. That's who you are. But the literal meaning of the word implies that there was an ensnaring in Esau's mouth. He deceived his father. Esau deceived Issachar. But Issachar was blinded because of his love for his son's venison, for the flesh. So, you know, this is even more the reason why one Esau could not have the birthright, with the blessing, given the blessing of the firstborn. Because one, it also reveals here that being the firstborn is, you know, that's great responsibility that comes with it. Because one, you're supposed to be the line of the promised seed. See, you have to tie all what comes in, even from Adam and Hawa, the promised seed that is coming through these lines. You know, that the promised seed of Issachar was going. Christ comes out of this promised seed. He couldn't possibly come from Esau. Esau was too worldly. He was too fleshy. And him being a hunter, you know, there's a real importance there, him being a hunter, and a good hunter that we find out. And there's some hints with him and Nimrod. Not the Nimrod that we know of the son of Cush, but there's an interesting connection with that Nimrod and this other Nimrod that we find out. But Esau being a hunter, he said that his job was very dangerous, He was out killing, you know. His job was very dangerous, His life was at jeopardy plenty of times. It's also written that here in the Midrash and commentaries that in some of the classic Jewish writings, that when Esau sold his birthright, that he was coming in from the field, that when he sold his birthright, he was like, oh, what is it to me, that he was really hungry. But for one, we found out that it was actually Abraham's death that happened at that time. Yaakov was making lentil soup. It was a traditional meal for mourning. And how do you sell your birthright on your godfather's, death day? That could be made into a pretty long video itself, but he came in and he said that what really was his birthright, because he said that it was revealed, it was really hidden, that Esau was hidden, that his job was so dangerous, and he loved hunting. Esau loved his job. He loved hunting. He loved killing. A great reason why he could not receive the blessing. But he loved his job, and being the firstborn, if you was to die as the firstborn, you would mess everything up. What would it be like to Esau give Esau the blessing of the firstborn, and he goes out and has some dangerous job and he gets killed? What you have that can't happen, because the chosen seed must come through the one that receives the blessing. So here we have another hidden rhema fact, that Esau could not receive his blessing. Hold on 1 second. Bless your nephew of mine, his fleshy music. But as I was saying, yes, Esau could not receive the blessing. For one, he loved his job as a hunter, and it was too dangerous for him. So that was another reason why he sold his birthright. Let's get that scene where he came in for the food, and he said that Esau loved Esau because he did eat of his venison, and Rivka loved Yaakov, because you gotta remember, she was the one that was given the prophecy, not Esau. No one knew other than this than her and Almighty Yahweh. No other. And she loved Yaakov because she knew. And Yaakov saw pottage. Esau came in from the field and he was faint. Now, that faintness that they say he has here, he was out hunting. He was out killing. He was real tired. And Esau said to Yaakov, let me swallow, I pray thee, some of this red pottage, for I am faint. Therefore they called his name Edom. And Edom means that is red. And Yaakov said, sell me first thy birthright. Now people will tell you, oh, what kind of brother is that? What kind of brother is going to make his other brother sell his birthright just for some food? Well, if you truly understood the importance of the firstborn and the birthright, you would know why that Yaakov knew that Esau wasn't deserving of it. Because you gotta understand, Yaakov dwelled in tents. He dwelled in booths. He tabernacled with the Almighty. And also said that during the time there were schools. You gotta understand, people think that There wasn't no educational learning back then. And we even have revealed in Genesis the gospel, you know, the gospel of even of the Ab, Welet, Memphis, Kadus, the Holy Trinity, Kadus, Selassie. You know, Adam and Eve knew the gospel in the garden, and those teachers were still coming. So it was revealed that Yaakov dwelled a lot at the schools of Shem, learning the word, learning the truth, learning the word. And so we could already understand that Yaakov knew that Esau was not deserving of the birthright. His mother knew it. Ishaq did it. He was blinded. He was blinded by the world, the fleshy of his son. You know, he loved his venison. So that's the true meaning why Yaakov told Esau, "Give me your birthright," because he knew he didn't really deserve it. And you see here, what did Esau say? Esau said, "Behold, I am at the point to die." Now, when he say that I am at the point to die, he's not saying that, oh, I'm about to die right now because I'm tired. No, he wasn't about to die. No, on that sense, he was actually revealing that how dangerous his job is. You know, well, it's actually revealed here that this was a scene where he came back from murdering, and he actually got into it with some people. And we really find out that was actually Nimrod. But and what profit shall the birthright do to me? So you ain't care, you know. You know. And Yaakov said, "Swear to me," and he swore unto him, and he sold his birthright unto Yaakov. And Yaakov gave Esau bread and pottage of lentils, and he did eat and drink, and rose up and went his way. So Esau he despised his birthright. He was not deserving of it. He despised it. You gotta think, you're the firstborn son. The importance of your birthright. What was it worth? a bowl, a bowl of beans and some bread. That's what your birthright. That's what Esau said his birthright was worth. So you see, and we have here in the Hebrew notes down here on the birthright. It said the portion of our father's inheritance, which will be yours as the firstborn, the right to perform the sacrificial service, which was normally done by the firstborn. You see, the firstborn had to perform the sacrifices unto the Almighty. You know, that was a must. And Esau, in his job, he couldn't be willing to do these sacrifices. For one, he wouldn't be holy enough. You know, that was almost like what we have coming up in Exodus. Well, further in Exodus, when you have the Levite priests with Nadab and Abihu, Aaron's son, you know, offering sacrifices, you know, playing with loose fire in the sacrifices. You know, that's what happens when you try to perform the sacrifices of Almighty and you're not spiritually fit to really, you know, perform them sacrifices. You get burned, you know. Like the Rasta man say, fire burn. That's what will happen. We have here that at your time it is wholly occupied with hunting, that you are tired and we have no thought for God's service, and sell that privilege unto you. So Yaakov knew that with his job that he could not perform these spiritual sacrifices on a physical level because of the job he did, and especially on the spiritual level because how worldly and fleshy he was. Okay, so and when you come to understand that the blessing and the birthright are really connected, and we want to reveal that actually. We want to reveal that next when Issachar blesses Yaakov, and once he found out that it was Yaakov that he blessed instead of Esau, why he was terrified. Um, excuse me. But let's go to what happened when Yaakov realized that he blessed Yaakov instead of Esau, and we want to really get the full version of why it happened the way it did. The exchanging of the blessings. Then we want to get into we might get into the actual blessings of the two sons, because we have a couple more things that we want to bring out between the two brothers, especially on the last Torah portion, why Ishlak with the atonement and the reconciliation of Yaakov and Esau upon Yaakov's return. But we have here okay, Yaakov was getting the blessing here. Okay, Yaakov just blessed him, and here it is, verse 30 of chapter 27 of Genesis. And it came to pass, as soon as Isaac made an end of blessing Yaakov, and Yaakov yet scarce gone out from the presence of Isaac, his father. I mean, he just got out of there. He just scarcely got out of receiving the blessing that Esau, his brother, came in from his hunting. Yaakov had just got done receiving the blessing before Esau walked in the house, and he had the food ready for his father. Um, so we understand that Yaakov, well, Isaac was getting ready to bless Esau, and he told him to go out and cook him some venison that he so loved. And it was during that time where Rebecca heard what was going on. You know, it might not even be sure that she actually heard Isaac telling Esau what to do. You know, that could have been the Holy Spirit revealing unto Rebecca that Isaac was getting ready to bless Esau, because it was also revealed by the Holy Spirit that it was in Esau's heart that he was ready to kill Yaakov for the blessing being taken. But let's get done. Read what happens when Isaac finds out that it's Yaakov that he blessed, not Esau. So, and he also made the savory food brought it unto his father. He said, "Let my father arise and eat his son's venison, that thy soul may bless me." And Isaac, his father, said unto him, "Who art thou?" He did not know him. And who is this? And he said, "I am thy son, thy firstborn Esau." And Isaac trembled very exceedingly. He trembled very exceedingly. You got to think, Isaac was probably close to having a heart attack. You know, really. He could have been very close to having a heart attack. Because you got to understand, yet again, he did not know the blessing. He did not know the prophecy. It was not revealed unto him. It was revealed unto Ribkah. It was revealed unto him. So he was terribly afraid. He trembled and seen him like he was shaking in spirit and truth, like he really fucked up. I'm just come out and say Esau thought he fucked up big time. You know, blessing. You got to think, actually blessing the wrong son. He really thought he was going to be punished by the Almighty for not blessing the firstborn, but he did not know. The Almighty did not reveal it unto him. He was too blind. He was too much into his son's fleshiness. So he said, "Who then is he that has taken venison and brought it me, and I have eaten of all before thou camest, and have blessed him? Yeah, and he shall be blessed." Now, there's a question mark after "and have blessed him." Right before he says, "Yeah, and he shall be blessed." There is a big time difference in between them. A lot is revealed actually in between them. We want to come back. We want to actually go forward and reveal what's actually revealed in between him saying, "Yes, and he shall be blessed," saying that Yaakov shall be blessed. Because right here, Esau says something that reveals unto Issachar that it was by the Almighty's, it was prophetic that the blessing deserved to belong to Yaakov. And it was this right here. And Esau said, and he said, "Thy brother came with guile and has taken away thy blessing." That's what Issachar said. He came with wisdom and taken away thy blessing. And he said, "Is not he rightly named Yaakov? Is he not? For he hath supplanted me these 2 times. He took away my birthright, and behold, now he has taken away my blessing." There it is. There it is. The Midrash narrates Issachar trembled exceedingly, thinking that he had committed a wrong. Issachar thought he committed a wrong in blessing the younger instead of the elder. When Esau complained, "He has supplanted me these 2 times," Issachar asked him how. Just because it's not written in these words doesn't mean that it's not here. A lot of Christians nowadays, a lot of modern Christians, they don't get this because they don't really study. You know, it's not, you don't just have to go into the Hebrew text. With careful study, you'll understand that blessing by Esau giving up the birthright, the blessing was not his anymore. The blessing did not belong to Esau anymore from giving up the birthright. That's why Issachar says here, that's why when Esau complained he had supplanted him these 2 times, Esau said, "How?" On hearing this, he took away my birthright. Issachar said, "I had feared that I had done wrong, but now I know that he had bought the birthright. I realized that he was entitled to the blessing." Therefore, Issachar said, "Yeah, and he shall be blessed." There it is. The birthright and the blessing are connected. They are connected. When Esau gave up the birthright, he lost the blessing. That's it. And it was with Rebekah, who held onto the promise that was given to her. And that's another example that how Rebekah remained faithful She remained faithful unto what Yahweh Kadamawa Haile Selassie revealed unto her, that the younger, but the older shall serve the younger. She held true to that, and she delivered it. That's what she did. So, for when one say that it was by deceit that Jacob got the blessing from, no. It was all what the Almighty had said, what he had planned, and what he knew would happen. And, it's only when you don't understand the root, get the basics, that your mind could be deceived by these Christians out here that don't connect the Old Testament to the New. So, they'll say, oh, Jacob stole the birthright, he didn't deserve it, that he's a thief, and you shouldn't steal, and he had 2 wives, and it's gonna be in the next vid. So I think we're gonna stop for now, and we're gonna stop with this vid, and we're gonna come back. Shalom Ras Tafari. Here's your brother Wendim Ras Tafari here, putting for the LOJ Society and the Rastafari Foundation. Tune in, check us out on the Grace Book, RastafariGroundation.com. Join us on Tuesday nights from 10 to 12 for Testify Tuesdays, and from 1 to 3 Women's Wednesdays, and you have the Upper Room of Zion on Thursday night at 10. Coming into Friday, we have Thank Jah Rastafari is Friday, and we end with Blog Talk Radio, the sabbatical show, the Saturday Eve, the eve of the first day, Ihu, after the Shabbat. So it's your brother Wendim Ras here again. Giving thanks to the Almighty Kadamawa Haile Selassie Beshem Yeshua, and to all the faithful Rastafari and Tawahedo Christians and true followers of Yeshua HaMashiach. Shalom.